Coming up on Mountain News this morning, state lawmakers heard testimony on a range of topics surrounding AI, including data centers and implementing AI at one university. And next Monday marks the beginning of Adult Education and Family Literacy Week.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Caroline Mueller. It is 6:30 on this Friday, September 12th. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmel for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, we had that little fall preview here recently, but it has been feeling like summer all week, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been loving it.
Yeah, I've definitely been enjoying the warmth, not leaving us just quite yet. I am a fan of fall, but I'm not a fan of winter, so I'll stick with summer for now. Here's what we're going to see as we head into the afternoon. Definitely going to be a hotter day as we see above average temperatures in the low to mid 80s. And we're just going to continue to see that warmth into this weekend. Now, in terms of, are we going to see sunny skies, cloudy skies, rain chances? Well, no surprise here. Still sticking with that sunshine. It's going to be a perfect summertime weekend ahead. We are watching a little bit of fog, though, so just be careful if you are traveling out and about this morning. But let's talk about that game of the week. Pikeville Panthers versus Johnson Central, the Golden Eagles, at 7:30 p.m. We're going to see nice and clear skies throughout, dropping temperatures from 79 at kickoff to 70 degrees by the end of the game. Caroline.
All right, Megan, sounds good. I'm with you on not loving that winter weather, so we'll take that. A building went up in flames in Laurel County this morning. East Bernstadt Fire and Rescue just posted these photos from Highway 1376 West. They don't say how bad the damage is, and no injuries have been reported. A grand jury in Pulaski County did not indict an Ohio man in a murder case. Anthony Emerson was charged with murder in early July. Police say he shot and killed his friend, Thomas Dick, during a 4th of July trip to Lake Cumberland. In dispatch audio we obtained, Emerson said Dick threatened him and he was scared for his life. Earlier this month, the grand jury did not indict Emerson and he was released. We're hearing from the lawyers representing Doug Harless's family in a new lawsuit. Harless was shot and killed in his home by a London police officer last December. His family is suing the City of London and the police department. The lawsuit claims Harless's civil rights were violated and police officers didn't follow proper procedures when they arrived at his home.
If you knock a door down at midnight on Christmas Eve, you're probably going to have somebody with a pistol inside. And that is why you have procedures to follow and you have prudence that you have to follow, starting off with, hey, let's make sure we're at the right house.
The lawsuit also claims of wrongful death, assault, trespassing, and inflicting emotional damages. KSB is still investigating the shooting. A Clay County man is behind bars after he was accused of threatening employees at a bank. In a complaint warrant, it says last month, Ricky Grubb spoke to a bank teller at the First National Bank of Manchester and told them he would come back to the bank to shoot it up and rob it. The complaint also says Grubb cussed at employees at the bank, claiming they did not have the right to close his account. Grubb was taken to the Clay County Detention Center. In West Virginia, a man who dropped off his off-road vehicle for repairs got a surprise in the mail, a bill for a UTV he didn't buy. State police arrested and charged Paul Massey, who owns Massey Power Sports, with fraud after an incident earlier this year in Raleigh County. Troopers say a man claimed he went to drop off his off-road vehicle to receive routine work. Troopers say the victim called the bank and reported the purchase, saying he never signed any paperwork. Investigators spoke with Massey, who admitted to forging the signature to make the purchase.
It's shocked because it's someone that you trust in the community. It's a business owner. It's a small business in comparison to some of the corporate places, and it's West Virginia owned. So it's concerning, and it was definitely shocking to me.
Massey's next court date has not been scheduled yet. Former London Mayor Randall Weddle is now suing the city. He filed the lawsuit yesterday morning. It claims his impeachment hearing had no legal grounds. The lawsuit says City Council, quote, manufactured charges that at worst reflect ordinary policy disagreements. It asked that Friday's impeachment vote made by the council be set aside and that he remain mayor. On Friday, Mayor Tracy Handley was appointed to replace Weddle. The lawsuit also asked the court to prohibit Handley from performing duties as mayor. As of now, no court date has been set. Kentucky's Artificial Intelligence Task Force met yesterday morning. State lawmakers heard testimony on a range of topics surrounding AI, including data centers and implementing AI at the University of Kentucky. Those who spoke say every student who walks onto campus will use artificial intelligence in some way and need to know the fundamentals of how to use it. Assistant Professor of Emergency Medicine, Dr. Tama Tay, says he's teaching a course next month inspiring students to actively use AI.
And the idea is that we want to inspire students to be active users of artificial intelligence, not just designing models and things like that, but using it for their life, their workforce, the way that they learn.
Dr. Tay says he hopes artificial intelligence can be used across all topics, from healthcare to communications. Next Monday marks the beginning of Adult Education and Family Literacy Week. During yesterday's Team Kentucky update, Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman shared some new data on how Kentuckians are furthering their education. She says numbers show that the Office of Adult Education had an increase of 19% in total enrollment in its services. Kentucky has also surpassed the national average in GED pass rates. You may have noticed if you've been out and about, some of the leaves are changing colors. Fall is right around the corner, and with that comes the beautiful foliage. Ben Beddoes talked to a local expert on how those colors could look this year.
It's felt like fall at times over the past few weeks. Recent cool mornings have initiated that feel. But what does this mean for fall foliage as we go through the next couple weeks into next month?
Cooler temperatures have been more of a norm over the last few weeks. In fact, every daily low temperature has been below average at Bluegrass Airport for over the past 3 weeks. This is good for fall color.
As the cool nights help activate the colors and the pigments that are in the leaves, which causes them to expose those colors. It's one of the few things that we can bank on right now.
While cool temperatures are good for the leaves to change color, the lack of rain could cause leaves to fall too early before they have the chance to get the vibrant color.
If we continue, it's going to help bring on the colors earlier, but unless we increase in rainfall and decrease the drought situation, we're not going to see as many good and vibrant colors as we could.
Spry says fall colors in our area usually peak in late October. A cooler trend could move that peak date closer to mid-October. If you're seeing color in trees right now, that's a bad sign of the health of the tree.
Trees are changing color right now, and you're seeing color in them, and it's because they are stressed. Stressed trees will quit chlorophyll production early. They start their shutdown early because it's a safety mechanism that they do to protect themselves.
For WKYT, I'm Ben Beddoes.
Spry says many trees are partially surrounded by pavement will generally show colors earlier due to stress as roots are likely restricted. Big Sandy Community and Technical College hosted its annual 9/11 memorial events yesterday. One event at the Pikeville campus brought students, faculty, and staff together discussing where people were when the tragedy occurred and how that day impacted everyone. Educators say since more than 2 decades have passed, the events now serve as more than memorials. They also teach students who were not born in 2001 about the event and how it shook the nation.
I think that's the greatest part, is when we can explain to them, you know, we were at point A, but now we're at point B, and then we can look to the future and hopefully help them to see where we can go from here.
Big Sandy also hosted events on its other campuses, saying it is important to take time to remember. One Rowan County man was stationed at the Pentagon as a weather forecaster on 9/11. Petty Officer First Class Edward Earhart was not scheduled to work on September 11th, but went in to train a colleague. We spoke to Earhart's sister in 2021 about her brother. She says she remembers hearing about the attacks and calling her brother's desk number after a plane hit the western side of the Pentagon at 9:37 a.m. It was several days before the family was told Earhart had died at 26 years old.
So I had my brother's desk number And I remember calling it, and it was just ringing, busy, 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 busy. And then I called his cell number because he normally always had his cell with him. It was just ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing, and I thought, oh my gosh.
Those who knew Earhart say he loved to serve and help others. Back in May, the charity Tunnels and Towers Foundation helped former Scott County Deputy Jamie Morales into a new home, mortgage-free. Morales was shot during a traffic stop, later paralyzed from the injury. One man on the board of Tunnels to Towers was at the ribbon cutting for Morales' home. But 24 years ago, Bradley Blakeman was on President George W. Bush's senior White House staff on 9/11. He recalls what happened on that day in 2001.
And I knew America was under attack. I went to the Situation Room thinking that they would have answered. The president was at my desk repeating those same words. We're going to find the people who did this, bring them to justice, and we're going to pray for your nephew.
Blakeman was in charge of 150 people. He assigned some of them to research how past presidents handled this type of tragedy to help President Bush address the country. Today, Blakeman is credited with creating the annual 9/11 traditional moment of silence at the White House at the time the first plane hit the tower.
Currently, we're sitting in a mixture of the 50s. You'll notice it's a little bit cooler as you travel more towards the east. 50 degrees in Louisa, 53 in Prestonsburg, 46 in Clintwood, and warmer as you travel to the west, 63 in Monticello. This afternoon, we'll see a mixture of the low to mid 80s, so a little bit warmer than what you'd expect for this time of year. And a little bit of some fog is building as you travel onto that Kentucky and Tennessee border, so drive carefully out this morning. In terms of that bus stop forecast, we'll see temperatures again, mixture of the 50s on the way to school, and on the way back, mixture of the low to mid 80s. Caroline.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:41. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. People with hemophilia are at significant risk of bleeding. Meet a doctor with one of the first patients to receive a gene therapy for hemophilia.
Travel